Chapter 1. Hi, Joe Cerrone here, and I'm going to go through the exercise for the GIS-20 Essential Skills from Chapter 1. And the key concepts here are downloading shapefiles, learning essentials tools, exploring ArcMap table of contents, understanding shapefiles, being able to customize a shapefile, and being able to save projects. Now the first thing that we want to be able to do is to be able to set up a directory, or what they call a save folder, for our files that we will be downloading. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the Microsoft ball here, go to computer, and I use an external hard drive, and that's located right here. And what I've done is I've created a directory from the CD that comes with the textbook called ESRI, E-S-R-I, Environmental Systems Research Institute. So I'm going to navigate down to that folder. Here it is, Esri Press. And here are the files that come with the textbook. And what I've done is I've created a folder called Joe's Content, and I created a secondary one called More of Joe's Content. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to right click, you're going to want to say New, and you're going to say Folder, and you're going to say what you want to call that. I'm just calling it Joe's Content 2. And this is where I'm going to put the files that I'm going to download for this exercise. The next thing that I'm going to do is to go online using Internet Explorer. And I'm going to navigate over to the U.S. Census Bureau website, www.census.gov. And here we can get shapefiles from the U.S. Census Bureau, and we will find those under Geography, Tiger Products. And what we're going to do is we're going to go and get these Tiger shapefiles. And we're going to use 2013. 2014 isn't quite set up right because it doesn't have a web interface. I'm going to select the layer type, which is going to be countries and equivalent. Submit. Now download that national file. I'll do a save as, and I'll place that in the folder that I just created. Now these files come in as compressed zip files, so we will have to uncompress those. Now once you have downloaded it, and it's downloading right here, we can open the folder and we can uncompress them by saying Open Folder, and we can double click on our zipped or compressed file, and then we can select Extract All Files. And this will extract those files to a format that can be read by our software, ArcMap. So there they are. I'm going to minimize this. I don't need them yet. I'm going to go back to my Internet Explorer, and I'm going to hit the back arrow 2 times to get some additional files. And the additional files that I'm going to get are going to be from the U.S. County shapefiles. And I'll submit that. And I'm going to get those for Illinois. And you're welcome to use a different state if you'd like. And again, I'm going to download those to my directory. Once they're downloaded, I'm going to open the folder. And I'm going to extract those files. Great. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go and we are going to start ArcMap. ArcMap comes with the textbook. You will need to install it. It comes with a 180-day license. And we're using version 10.1. Okay, it keeps a history of my most recent maps that I've created. I'm going to cancel and get myself to a blank page here, and then I'm going to select New. And I'm going to start with a blank map. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to path to my data files. ArcMap uses a lot of very large files, and the way it works is by using this Add Data button here. And so what I can do is I can go and I can select Add Data, and I need to set it to find the new files that I created or that I downloaded. And so I'm going to say connect to a folder, and I'm going to direct it to my external hard drive in the location that I've downloaded my files to. And I'll OK that. So now I'm going to add this shapefile. And what we have is a shapefile of the United States. We can talk a little bit about the interface here. This is our full extents zoom, which means that it will show the entire extents of our map. And as you can see, we have the entire extents of our US. And then we can also, if we want to navigate in closer, best way is to use your mouse, and you can pan and you can zoom with the scroll wheel on the mouse. And so I'm going to scroll into the Illinois area here. I'm going to go and add some more data, and so I'm going to add the shapefiles for the cities. And as you can see now, it's populated that layer on top of the US counties. And the way these layers work is that the program reads them from top to bottom. And so I can come in here, I can zoom in a little bit. It'll show me the layer on top first and then the layer beneath that. It has an information button. If I click on this identity button, I can then go and click on one of these counties or cities. It'll tell me which one that is. We can rename these by clicking in the tree view, a slow double click, and I can name this or rename it. And I can do the same thing here with a slow double click. And that just makes it a little bit more user-friendly for people who are using your map. So we can get information about these different cities. I can come in here, I can click. It'll go to our attribute table and distribute or tell us about that information. And we'll get into that more in later chapters. Right now we're just doing some of the basics. We can switch back to our default pointer. This doesn't really do anything, but I guess what it does is it undoes the current command, and so it kind of puts you in the ability to change to another command or exiting a command. So we've explored the table of contents, we've looked at the identity command, and what we're going to do is to take a look at working with shapefiles and working with our data table. Now these files come in and they're what they call FIPS files, F-I-P-S, which are Federal Information Processing Standards. And what we're going to do is we're going to go and take a look at the files for the U.S. counties, and we're going to make our own shapefile so that we just have Illinois and the cities in Illinois. And so what we'll do is we'll right click on U.S. counties, and we're going to go to open the attribute table. This is our attribute data that's associated with our mapping program. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to this third column here, we're going to right click, and we're going to say sort ascending. And that'll put the FIPS codes in order of the states. Now what is the FIPS code for Illinois? I found I would have to go to Google and Google it. And so if I Google the FIPS code for Illinois, what it's going to come up with is 17. So I'm going to go back to my mapping software, and I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click on the first 17 here, and then I'm going to bring it down to the last. And I'm going to hold the shift key and I'm going to select that. Once I've done that, I'll close this attribute table out by hitting the X, and you can see now that it's highlighted the Illinois counties. And then what I can do is I can export that data by right clicking on the table of U.S. counties, selecting data, and then export data. You can also export that to a CAD file, and we've done that for other courses with the fire department. I'm going to export that to my folder, and I've got one here called Joe's Content, and that's fine. I can use an older folder if that's what I have it set at. And I'm also going to export the data as a map layer, and we'll see it show up on the side here. And so here is my new shapefile, and I can go and I can right click on it, I can slow double click on this, and I can say Joe's Illinois shapefile, for lack of a better name. And then I can uncheck the U.S. counties. Depending on the graphic card, speed is an issue with these softwares. They're very CAD or graphics card demanding. So the better graphics card, the higher end computer you have, the faster you can go and do your work. Okay, so we've gone and we've set up our first map. We've been able to take a look at our shapefiles and been able to export a shapefile. And that's really the end of the first exercise. In the next exercise we'll go through how to actually put it on paper. Last thing that we're going to do here is we're going to save it, and so I'll say save as. And the way I'm going to have people save these is with their initials and then the chapter number. And so I'm just going to use my middle initial on this one since I practiced it. And we can see my old file. And I'm going to put this into my directory that I'm going to use for my files. Once we've saved these files, we'll go through how we submit them using D2L. So that's chapter 1. And I will see you in chapter 2.